Hi everyone, I'm Mike Damergis and welcome to yet another edition of Bench Jockeys. My teammates tonight are the popular, but yet not yet renowned, Mike and Steve Gonzalez. Welcome to the show again, guys.
Hello, guys.
Alright, last show we had Harry Hart, the forward for the Westchester Stallions, and the Executive Vice President of the Stallions, Mark Washington. They started the league up, they played 5 games. What's the update so far?
Well, I'm happy to say that Harry has made the team, and the last 3 games he has started. Actually, the last 2 games he has started, he was led the team in rebounding in one of those games. He's second on the team in rebounding right now, and he's averaging 8 points a game, so he's doing very well.
On personal note, Steve, your newsletter, hold it up, as seen on this program, has become the official notes of the Westchester Stallions, a project we're all involved in. Mike and I do the reporting, and you sit back in Virginia while we work, and he types it up. So that's the official notes can be picked up at the games and other locations too.
Yes, at Spectators, in New Rochelle, and at Jockeys in Harrison, correct?
Right.
Also, another note on the Stallions, they are currently 2-3. They have a game tonight as we speak against the Long Island Surf, and 2 of the losses were by 1 point. They lost in the closing seconds of the games. So they could have been 4-1.
Easily.
Exactly.
Real quick, Mike is on WXPS now. We're doing Westchester Stallion update 7:30, 107.1 with
Glenn Crespo.
Glenn Crespo in the morning.
Which
So
I got basically.
we can't get enough of Mike now, tonight, 7:30 tomorrow morning, well, whenever.
Okay. June 10th, the Stallions start a long homestand. They're going to finish up the season. 10 of the final 12 games are at home. They play Concordia College, 7:30 at night. Any information, anybody wants to go to the games, call 576-8827 and hope to see you at the Corral.
Before you go on, another thing about the Stallions, it's a great, inexpensive way to get some entertainment other than watching TV or going to the movies.
Renting a movie. One thing though, when you do go, it's not NBA, so don't go with the big idea that it's going to be like watching Madison or going to the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. It's very low key, but the players try very hard. They're as professional as they can be, and it's very, very entertaining.
And 3 players right now who are having a great start are Stevie Burt, who played at Iona College. Elmer Anderson, who was the last cut of the 76ers. And Brian Sallier, the #1 pick of the Stallions from Oklahoma University. He is their leading rebounder and also third in scoring. He's playing tremendous both offensively and defensively. And I think you're going to see some great things out of him in the future.
The thing I like most about going to the games was you really feel like you're on top of the action. The game is very physical, which I really didn't realize watching basketball games from afar. So if you go to the games, you're really a part of it. You feel like you're definitely a part of it. So if you can, give the Stallions a call and go to some of their games. At the beginning of the show, we saw a shot of a lithograph called the Classic Fenway Cloud. Now, we talked on the last show about a lot of baseball, what they're trying to do. They're trying to save the game, so they're trying to do the nostalgic thing. The old-time ballparks, the old-time uniforms. And now a couple of art galleries, this one up in Connecticut, is starting to take advantage of this and starting to make a lot of money, actually.
Well, Bill Goff started in 1977. Bill Goff Inc. is the name of the studio. In 1977, he started doing baseball art in Manhattan. Over the last couple of years, he's moved his studios now to Kent, Connecticut, and now he's selling stadium art up there in Kent, Connecticut. It's all over the country. It's a mail-order business. It's doing very well. Yeah.
I don't want this to be confused with the stuff that you see on QVC, the Ken Griffey Mahjong tile, the Nolan Ryan matching plate set. This is art that it could very well stand alone in an office or in a home. Just because of a stadium, it's not of lesser quality. It's very well done. In fact, there's a Hall of Fame connection.
Yes, Bill Goff has had several exhibits up in Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame. Also, currently there's one going on in a museum in New England featuring one of his best artists, Andy Jarinko, who did the classic Fenway Cloud.
And what about Fenway Park? Wasn't that that was the lithograph that put him on the map?
Yes, it's in it's a very famous one of Wade Boggs at the plate against Kurt Young pitching. It's at Fenway Park. It's on several books about the Boston Red Sox, about Fenway Park. It's right on the cover. It's a beautiful picture. It was the first one that I purchased.
What year was that? 1986, right?
When I bought it?
When they started.
When it came out, it was 1986. Mm-hmm. And that came out at the price of $95. And that one is sold on the secondary market for $1,600.
How many artists does he have working for him in his galleries? I mean, does he do it himself, or does he have a variety?
He has right now 6 artists working for him. He is looking to expand and possibly add 2 or 3 more. He's also looking to go into what they call still life art. Baseball gloves on benches, bats, balls, not just stadiums, but still life art.
You saw the picture today. It arrived today.
Yes, it came in the mail today.
We didn't bring any shots. What did you think of the still life?
I thought it was great.
What describe what it was like?
It was a dugout bench with a baseball bat, a glove, and cleats and some baseballs along the bench. It was very nice and definitely a different look than just the stadium art that Bill Goff has gone into. He's looking to, I was talking to him yesterday, he's looking to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Everybody's doing the stadium arts or player portraits. Now he's going into still life. I think he'll have a great success in that.
Okay, we saw the shot of Carlton Fisk hitting the home run in Game 6 of the 1975 World Series to win the game, and I remember seeing that.
Real quick, though, who was it off of?
Darcy, Pat Darcy.
Exactly.
You remember, huh? I guess the old man remembers.
The old man.
I was awake for that game.
Okay. Another shot we have of Shibe Field lithograph.
Shibe Park.
Shibe Park? Shibe
Yeah,
Park.
right.
I'm sorry about that. Shibe Park lithograph.
This one's entitled Connie Mack All-Stars. It's a different look. As you can see, it's a picture of the ball actually coming towards the batter. And
you feel like you're up at bat.
Exactly, and the audience has the view of the batter. It's a great looking stadium. It's a great looking piece.
Absolutely, you feel like you're right up at bat. You think this is becoming the Norman Rockwell of sports paintings?
Well, this is one style of sports paintings. There is another style I'm going to get into. It's by Perez Steel Galleries, and that's more player portraits. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I am tossed between either player portraits or stadiums. I like them both.
If I could just get one thing quick. When we were going to do this segment, I didn't know if there would be enough to talk about, and just between the two artists we're talking today, Bill Goff and Perez Steel. Actually,
Dick Perez is the artist. Frank Steele is the entrepreneur who got together with Dick Perez and now have their own gallery in Pennsylvania. They do a lot of Hall of Fame work.
What I was saying is, it's amazing how much there is out there just between these two, and we're not even touching most of the art out there. In fact, I wanted to bring in the Heartland trophies, Heartland statues, which were popular in the late
60s.
Early 60s.
Yes.
Anyway, there's a very interesting story behind that, but we haven't got time to get into that.
Okay, we want to get these other lithographs up. We have number 3 is the Polo Grounds, and that is entitled 10-3-51.
You know what?
Bobby Thompson's home run.
Exactly, and that's what it shows. It shows Bobby Thompson at the plate and swing of the bat, shot right around the world.
Are all the shots of depict famous scenes?
No, not all the shots depict famous scenes. That's a good question. One thing that they do is they try to, if it's Tiger Stadium, they'll have a tiger at the plate. If it's Baltimore Stadium, they'll have a Baltimore Oriole at the plate. They're not all famous shots, but they always try to make sure that the focus of the stadium is also around the home team.
I was reading an article that you'd given me about how he had commissioned an artist to do Ebbets Field, because the Brooklyn fans are rabid for the nostalgia. But they had the picture depicted Yogi Berra hitting a home run, and a lot of the fans realized it was during an 8-0 rout in the World Series. I don't remember the game, but I was reading about it, and he said it was a mistake to show a Yankee hitting a homer in a very important moment. And that
Brooklyn history, that's right.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's why he always tries to make sure that the home team is the focus of the stadium picture.
Okay, we want to bring up the Perez Steel quickly because we're almost out of time for our first break. So we have what's that?
The first one's going to be Roberto Clemente. Now, Perez Steel does, for those baseball card collectors out there, he does the Diamond Kings for Damergis baseball cards. And he started that in 1981. He's done over 300 portraits for Damergis baseball cards. He also does all the men inducted to the Hall of Fame. They get a postcard that is sent out to 10,000 subscribers to Perez Steel Gallery postcards. And each player gets a postcard.
All right.
Okay, also we have one of Joe Morgan we want to put up there.
Yes.
And when was he inducted into the Hall of Fame? 1980?
I think it was 89.
89?
Yes.
Probably one of the best second basemen of all time.
Does it make the great Perez Steel feels that he should go to the players because the players are more important than the ballparks?
Owners today think the ballparks are
I think the ballparks are really what it's about. But I mean, naturally, I guess if there weren't any ball players, you wouldn't go to the ballpark. But
Bill Goff brought up an interesting point because I asked him that question, and Bill Goff said that players are traded nowadays, and the free agency players are always moving, but ballparks always stay the same, and that's the link that we have to the past. Whereas Frank Steele said that we go to the games to see the players and not the stadiums.
Right.
That the stadiums are a stage, but the players are the real heroes.
Well, today we have that problem. We know that. That's why we're going back to the players. We're going to have to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have a young man from Westchester County who hopefully might make the NHL. But first, here's a shot of Jim Palmer.
Hi, I'm Mike Gonzalez, and thanks for staying with us on Bench Jockeys. Every professional league has its proving grounds for developing Major League talent. Major League Baseball has Minor League Baseball. Pro football and pro basketball exclusively used for colleges. Now, National Hockey League, for many years, has used the Canadian Juniors, a very elite league in Canada, which has produced some of the top stars in the NHL today. In fact, many of those stars have gone on to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. With us tonight is a young man from Rybrook, John Kucera, a goaltender, who at the end of this summer will be trying out for a team in this very elite Canadian league. John, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Major junior hockey is a very important stepping stone to the NHL, yet I don't think a lot of people are really aware of what major junior hockey is. Just give us some background on what major junior is, the eligibility, who can play, how long they can play, and who are some of the stars that graduated.
Well, the junior major is made up of the Canadian Hockey League, which is separated into 3 different leagues, which is WHL is the Western Hockey League, the OHL is the Ontario Hockey League, and the QMJHL is the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And players, the ages vary from 16 to 20, and you can be drafted into the NHL after the age of 18. And some players, such as John Van Beesbrook, Mario Lemieux, Pat LaFontaine, and Eric Lindros, were drafted into the NHL from these leagues.
Wayne Gretzky also came from
Wayne Gretzky, too.
Is there any difference between Western Hockey League, Quebec Major, and Ontario, as far as a grade of play, or just style difference?
Well, yeah, probably just style difference. Basically the same level, but just style. Like the Western Hockey League is more tougher, and the Quebec Major Junior League is more of a faster pace game.
You're going to be trying out for a team in Quebec.
Right, that's right.
How does a player get selected to participate in the junior leagues? It's a very elite league. It's not a matter of signing your name and playing.
All right. Well, it's by invitation to training camp or being drafted from your midget league or team.
Now, it has to be exceedingly difficult for a Canadian boy to play in the junior hockey leagues. Now, you're an American from Westchester County, not really a hotbed of hockey. How did you manage? What was your training like to get to this point?
Well, I started playing hockey at 8 years old, and I played for Rye Country Day and as a peewee and bantam. And when I moved up to midgets, I played for the Portchester Rybrook Blades. And just this past summer, I went up to Canada in Quebec for hockey schooling. And there I was scouted and invited to try out for a junior A team. And I tried out, and I made the team, and from there...
Explain how a junior A team also is a very elite league as well.
Right, yes.
And it's a stepping stone to get to the point that you're at right now.
Right. I wanted to try out, for the majors, but you got to start at the bottom and work your way up.
Now, how is it that you got an invitation for yourself to try out this, what is it, in August? To try out for Major Junior?
Well, the assistant coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Jacques Leperrier, invited me to a training camp for a new expansion team, which will be coming into the Quebec League this coming season. The team's, it's in Val-d'Or, Quebec. It's a new expansion team.
Your family's got to be very proud of your accomplishment, but do most people realize what you're embarking upon?
Not really. You really have to go through it yourself to understand the kind of experience it is. It was really when I first left to go. I pictured it as a different experience. But as it went through, it's tough to say. You really have to experience it yourself.
But most people don't have an appreciation of how far you've gone.
Mm-hmm.
You supplemented a lot of your ice time by going to camps. Do they know how much hard work went into this? Do they appreciate that?
Yeah, well, every summer I've been going to hockey schools, and the people I talk to know that, and they know that I'm serious about furthering my career in hockey. So they know I give it 100% when I go out, and I'm really serious about when I go to the hockey schools. I'm really serious, and I want to learn.
At what point, when you were training, or as a youngster, did you realize that you were good enough to try and play with the most elite competition in North America? Or did you know?
Well, I guess a couple of years ago, I felt myself progressing, getting more mature. And this past season, when I got the opportunity to play for Junior 18, I was just delighted, and I just gave it my all.
Do you have like an agenda? Is this something that you always aspire to, or the more you kept playing, the better you became?
The more you play, the better you're going to get. The more ice time you get to work on things, the more you play, the better you're going to get.
And last year, a record number of Europeans were drafted. It resulted in a decrease in college players being drafted into the NHL. Did that influence your decision to play Canadian Major Junior and not go the traditional college route?
Well, when I was a junior in high school, I looked at a lot of colleges with my guidance counselor. But when I went up to Quebec for the camps last summer, and I was invited to try out for Junior 18, and all the players that get drafted nowadays into the NHL come from junior major leagues, so I felt that this was the best route to take.
Yeah, it really is quite an impressive list once you take a look at it. We have some clips of John in action. Go to the monitor. Just tell us when and where was this clip taken? How long ago and where?
This was this past season in Chambly, Quebec, and this was
Is it a playoff game? Or?
No, this is just a regular season game.
What
in the junior ag level.
What goaltender influences your style most?
I would have to say John Van Beesbrook of the New York Rangers.
Well, coincidentally, you know a very famous hockey player, and he is John Van Beesbrook.
Right.
How much of an influence has he been as far as training, your on-ice training and off-ice advice?
Well, if I have any questions, I feel free to ask him. And he's just really a good friend of the family. So I know him for many years. Since he's been a Ranger, I've known him.
But he hasn't really taken you on the ice and showed you what to and not to do?
Yeah, a few times.
It's a great help.
Yeah.
Because we were talking before, and I had mentioned that years ago, ironically, I think the goaltender is one of the most difficult positions to play in sports, but it always seemed to get the least amount of attention from the coach. Is that, aside from specialty camps, which specialize in goaltending training, is that still the case where goaltenders don't get that much attention?
I don't think so. Nowadays, goaltenders have to learn more of the technique. They just don't throw them in the net just to stop the puck. They teach them each step, lateral movement, whatever it may be. So as long as you're on the ice and playing a lot and practicing, each team in the juniors have goaltending coaches that help you and work with you.
I want to bring this up real quick. You went to, the past summer, you were at the Vladislav Tretiak camp, and that's probably one of the most famous goaltenders in the world. How did you find that?
It was an honor to be on the ice with him, and it was tough, the camp, because he spoke Russian and they had to translate it to French, then to English. But it was just an honor to be on the ice with him.
Were you able to pick up a lot of new technique? A lot of great goaltenders have developed quirky behavior once the season has begun. We talked about Glenn Hall actually used to throw up before every game, and Goff Worsley once quit in the middle of the season due to pressure. Goaltender is a very pressurized position. Do you exhibit any quirky behavior, or how do you manage yourself to handle the pressure?
Well, I don't have any quirky behavior. I just basically stay focused and think about the game beforehand. I don't do anything strange to prepare for a game.
Does anything on the ice affect you, get you out of your game? Does overtime affect you?
No, I don't think so. It's overtime that happens in a game. You have to face that. It's part of the game.
Any point in the game, we've been talking about this, when you allow the first goal of the game on the first shot, how do you battle back?
You have to just start all over. You just have to take it, just start the game over. You just have to regroup and get your thoughts back together.
Do you consider yourself a very placid personality? Because a lot of goaltenders seem to be very high-strung, and I get a sense that there's very little that bothers you on the ice.
Well, I just try to stay calm. I really, don't talk to my teammates before games. I just really think about what I'm going to be doing, and that's just basically it. I just really don't say much. I just try to stay focused.
This year, you're going to be going up at the end of the summer to try out for the camp. Do you have any idea of what the competition is going to be like? Not only the other goaltenders, but the on-ice players as well. Do you have any experience with junior players?
In fact, I live with a player that plays in the junior major level, and so we got some ice time together, and we talk, and he showed me what to look for, and I've been to many junior major games this past season.
So you have an idea?
So I have an idea.
John, I want to thank you for coming down with us tonight, and I want to wish you best of luck. And I hope to get to talk to you again. And the next time we're going to talk about your chances of getting drafted.
Okay.
All right, in the NHL. That's
Okay,
John Kucera, and he's from Rybrook, and he's going to be trying out for the Valdor this August. It's a junior team, and hopefully if he does make the team, he will be considered a candidate for NHL play. When we come back, we're going to have a new feature, Classic Confrontations, which has been brought to us courtesy of Microleague Interactive Software, so please don't go away.
In an emergency, you don't have time to learn what to do and where to go. So be prepared before an emergency happens. Learn first aid and CPR. Put stickers on all your phones with the numbers of your local police, firefighters, paramedics, and poison information center. Find out where your nearest hospital emergency room is and know how to get there. For more information about preparing for emergencies, write the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Those graphics really show how difficult it is to get drafted by an NHL team. Guys, what do you think his chances are of getting drafted? He's still young, he's only 18, but what do you think so far?
Anybody who's tried to make a professional sport will tell you how difficult the odds are. I mean, there's just so much that goes on, but just give him a lot of credit for getting where he's at right now, living in Westchester. Not a hockey hotbed, like I said before, so he gets all my admiration, a lot of credit.
And I learned a lot from John. I didn't know much about the minor leagues of hockey. And just watching that, I learned a lot about it, and it was great.
It's junior hockey because there is a minor league level, but it's junior, which is like, it's akin to being a college player drafted into the pros.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he beat out 10 other goalies for it. Unbelievable. Now I'd like to introduce a new segment called Classic Confrontations, brought to you by Microleague. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to have teams like the 68 Championship Tigers against the 75 Red Sox, and the 73 A's against the 78 Yankees, brought to you by Microleague. Tell us a little about it, Steve.
Well, Microleague Software is sponsoring our Classic Confrontations. And what's going to happen is we're going to play baseball games. The 68 Tigers, by the way, are playing the 73 Reds.
73 Reds?
73 A's.
Okay.
Okay. In a 5-game playoff series. The winner of that will play the 75
Well,
Red
hold on a
Sox.
second. We're setting up a tournament, so let's tell the teams that we have in the tournament, and then we'll go to the game.
Okay.
What do we have in the...
Okay. Teams involved. 68 Tigers against the 73 A's. 75 Red Sox against the 78 Yankees. The National League, the 69 Mets against the 82 Cardinals. And the 75 Reds against the 79 Pirates.
All World Championship teams facing off against each other. Now, the game itself, very fascinating game. Why don't you talk about the game a little bit?
Well, the game is just like regular baseball. 9-inning game. You can either coach and manage the teams yourself, or you can have the computer do it. At the end of each game, a box score is given out. At-bats, runs, hits, RBIs, like you see in the paper. There's when the computer plays it, the computer can play it and show you each at-bat, giving you exactly what happened, or you can do a quick play just to get the stats at the end of the game. That way you don't see anything that's going on. All you do is get basically the line scores, who won, who lost, pitching, hitting, stuff like that.
How much game manipulation can you control Do you just plug it in and let them go?
Well, if you pick the computer to play it, basically the computer just is a manager. If you actually pick yourself to manage the teams, then you have control over everything. Lineups, who's pitching, when you're coming in for relief, pinch hitting, stuff like that.
Okay, 68 Tigers against the 73 A's. Who do you like?
I like the A's. I played a couple of exhibition games, and the A's beat every team.
Really?
Solid lineup and solid pitching. They had Hunter, Holtzman, and Blue that year. Great three starting pitchers. But the Tigers have Denny McClain.
And the year he won 31 games.
Exactly, and he is a monster. And one thing that the game did do was, I read a book on McClain, and one thing I learned about him is a very tough competitor. As the innings got on, he got stronger. And that's how the game was played. And a couple of games that he pitched that I had exhibition games with, 7, 8, 9, when he was in there, he got tougher. And he got a lot of his strikeouts in those last 3 innings. So it'll be a great match between a great pitcher and a great hitting team.
75 Red Sox against the 78 Yankees. I think the Yankees, on paper, were not a good team. They played with mostly heart. The Red Sox 75, they played the Reds in the World Series, went down to 7 games. I think they'll take the Yankees because you can't put heart into computers.
Pardon?
Heart.
Pardon?
Pardon.
Did you have the Red Sox beating the Yankees?
Yes, I did.
You're a good fan.
I love the Yankees, but let's face it, on paper, the 75 Red Sox were a better team.
Good.
Also, we
you
have
wager a lot of my money.
We have the 69 Mets going on against the 82 Cardinals. Who do you like in that one?
I like the Mets. I like Tom Seaver. I like Jerry Kuzman. And I think Tommy Agee and Cleon Jones had great years that year. And it's going to come out.
Good pitching stops good hitting. And I think the Cardinals had one good hitter that year. Tommy Hurd.
Keith Hernandez batted over 300 that year.
Oh, that's...
82.
Yeah, see how much I know? You see how much I know?
You follow the game?
Briefly.
Okay, we don't want Mike's opinion on
Yeah,
that. 75 Reds, the big red machine, against the 79 Pirates. You got to go with the Reds. 75, best team debatably ever in baseball.
How about the Pirates? Does it matter? Should you ask me?
No, absolutely not.
79 Pirates.
Great hitting lineup for the Reds. I don't know, the Pirate pitching was a little bit suspect that year.
It was incredibly suspect. I was
But
a team.
I think the Reds will take them in 3 or 4 games.
Real quick, last matchup. What was that the last?
That was the last matchup. Way to pay attention. Okay, we're just about out of time. I'd like to thank our guest, John Kucera. We'll be keeping posted of his progress throughout the summer. Hopefully he'll make a team. Also, next month, as always, a Stallion Update. And we'll continue our new feature called Classic Confrontations until we crown a champion. Also, hopefully, we'll be taking Lowe's Moore, formerly of the New Jersey Nets, who's doing some very important work with the youth of Mount Vernon.
Yes.
And also, hopefully, we'll have classic clips. And don't forget, Mike, you have something special called the Heartland statue.
Oh, the Heartland story, which we'll get to next week, and that's a very interesting story. You told me a twist. It's really a very interesting story.
I want to get into it right now. There was a twist to the end of that story. It's a great story. And also, before we go, I want to thank Bill Goff again and Press Steel Galleries. For more information on their stuff, write the newsletter. Everything will be in the newsletter about Press Steel Galleries and about Bill Goff.
We can catch at the end of the show, the address and everything.
Also, real quick, thanking Mike Lee for their help with the Classic Confrontations, which we'll see next week.
Okay. From the bench, for Mike and Steve Gonzalez, I'm Mike Damergis.